Thank you for the rose, Angie Luhu. Angie Luhu. Oh, maybe it was this. Is that a mosquito? What is that thing? I think that was a. I don't know what that is. All right. May have been cool water. I think it was something with the name Blue, though, in it. I also have a question about a legal thing. But if my time is up, it's okay. The thing that I'm hearing about the legal thing is that you need to release personal responsibility over something that was never yours in the first place in regards to the legal thing. There's no need to ask your question. All right, Diane, are you ready, hon? Anyone who wants to experience the overflow with Diane, go ahead and, with her double activation, go ahead and put yes in the comments, and we'll get started here in just a moment. Okay, Diane's ready. Excellent. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, right away. Did I get this with you last time, Diane? But it's that massage, the thumbs in the palm chakras that I'm seeing. And if it wasn't you, that's okay. But I'm seeing it right now. It's like there's a masseuse energy in your auric field right now, Diane. And there's an importance and there's a value with someone physically moving your muscles and your fibers around in your body. Does that make sense? Okay, pedicure guy. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I'm remembering. So I'm still seeing that energy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's something significant about that guy. There is something significant about that guy. Meow. I'm going to say Meow instead of Diane because I don't want to get those confused because we've got two Dianes in here. Okay. He worked on my leg. Oh, interesting. My leg's not happy. Oh, okay. There's something, this isn't happening now, but what I'm seeing in your auric field is that something about a cast in that space, some kind of an injury in that space before. Does that make sense? In that space where your leg is right now? Like, I'm taken back to a time. It's crazy, but it kind of looks like a bee sting. That like where that part of your leg was swollen before at some point in your life. And what I'm hearing is that you have a okay. What I'm hearing is is that you got a fracture in terms of the energy because of emotions that were connected at the time that you were feeling right before that original injury happened. And there's something about that energy coming back around when he did that, whatever he did in that area there, that activated that original emotion to come back. So you could feel it in the extent, of what it really originally was. Because at the time when you had the original injury, there's something going on with some kind of emotion that you were denying. Either you were suppressing pain in your body because you had other responsibilities, like something was happening at the time of that made your body say, oh, you don't want this to heal properly? You don't want to give this focus and attention? Well, then this is just going to remain open. Yeah, it never really healed. And when pancreas removed, got blood clot. There you go. Yeah, exactly. So that man that recently touched that space reactivated that, so now you can feel the true emotions and the fears that you felt, possibly around losing a limb, or the intensity that you felt around that, even though you know now that that's not happening. Does that make sense? Because you were in a heightened space of emotions, right? Exactly. And so there was ignorance of the pain, so then you could just sort of get through. Does that make sense? So your body wisdom is stepping forward with your aura and saying, now is the time to give yourself some space and give that part of your body some TLC, some tender, loving care, right? Some warm salves, maybe what I'm seeing is like some aloe vera, right? Rubbing some aloe vera on there, making a poultice or something, or whatever they call that, a poultice or something like that. And using your own wisdom and your own truth to really respect that part of your body, because that part of your body has been separated from you for a while. And you just didn't want to think about it because it was correlated to the passing. See, remember what I say often in here, vibration attracts vibration. You see, the same thing with our body. When our body is experiencing something that is traumatic to our body, then our emotions, if our emotions are not in alignment with what's going on with our body, then there's a disconnect. And then that extends out to the aura, you see. Does that make sense? So right now, that touch that you recently received is activating you, right? It's allowing you to recognize that part of your body, to give it tender, loving care, to give it your attention, you see. And now you can then get that back in alignment, you see, okay? So let's see what else you got going on in here. I am seeing a fox, which actually did come up earlier in this live, but I am seeing a fox. So you may want to look up the fox totem, Ted Andrews' fox totem meaning. The fox means different things to different people depending on nationality and experience and bloodlines and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing I'm seeing here is that someone is trying to be slick. Someone is trying to get something from you in a very clever sort of way. And when there's fox, oftentimes when fox shows up in the auric field, it has to do with either you've been in denial about something and trying to trick yourself into something that just was never true in the first place. And so you unconsciously used fox medicine to do that. Or there's somebody in your life that is taking advantage of you in some way, and they're so clever that unless you're really on your game, you don't really have a conscious awareness of it. Does that make sense? So fox medicine is a trickster archetype usually, and you might want to sort of look into that. And as you're putting more healing intention in your body, and I highly recommend you get a healing from Ascension Playground, a Reiki healing, one of her mini healings that she offers on her live, when you're in a place of receptivity for that. So then you can really tell your aura and your energy body and your physical body that you're really not looking to ignore anything anymore. Because there's been times in your life, and we're all, we've all done this for survival purposes or just to get through something, where we've ignored something. And that's oftentimes where fox medicine will show up in the form of another person, because we're ignoring and we're conditioning ourselves to ignore we were before. And then fox medicine can come in there and steal from us and, get real clever and tricky in those spaces. So perhaps look up that energy of fox medicine to see what's going on with that. Now, it's very important, Meow, that you start rewording that, okay? And here's the suggestion. Before, I often was a doormat, right, to keep the peace. And yet, I'm in the process of releasing that doormat vibration. I'm in the process of stepping into my truth and my own personal sovereignty. I'm in the process of learning how to love myself in the most balanced way possible. And at the same time, I'm magnetized towards me in the physical world, and I see verifiable proof of this all the time, right? That loving people exist, authenticity exists, and I'm so happy to be alive, right? Or you could say I'm growing balls. Yeah, that works too. My Gemini moon tends to overcomplicate things a little bit. That was funny. I'm very visual, so, somebody says they're growing balls, I start seeing these big red balls, Oh my goodness sakes. Whew. Okay. So, let me see what else we got here. Since this is a double aura reading, let me see. Let me see what else here, if there's anything else. I'm hearing, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. Oh, that's cute. Let's see here. I'm hearing that song, to the left, everybody something to the left. This sounds strange to ask, but were you a Justin Bieber fan? I don't know, there's something going on with that. Justin Bieber vibration. I was in the house I grew up in. Nah, okay. No worries. For some reason, I just saw Justin Bieber show up right there, and I was like, it wasn't connected to your auric field, but I was just like, okay, what's going on here? So, I am seeing a gymnast, like a gymnast in your auric field. So I'm not sure if you recently had communication with someone that is, or if this was connected to a dream that you had. It's not a ballerina vibration, but it's like a gymnast energy. Like a balance beam. I've seen a balance beam and one of those hurdle jump things or whatever, track and field kind of things. So that's sort of another layer within your auric field. This feels like it's high school energy, or somewhere around in there. Yeah, those things that you jump over. This is a double energy. This could be something that also comes up in conversation here in the next few days, so sort of keep an eye out on that. I'm working on the programming where my ear will buzz when I know it's something that people are getting ready to experience on the right side, and then when it's a loved one coming through on the left side, then my ear will buzz on the left side, but I'm in the process of that right now, so sort of acquiring that. Oh, very cool. Very cool, Heather. I think that's it, my dear. I can't say, can't say anything that I'm not seeing. We speak the truth here, and there's just really nothing else that I'm seeing at the moment. Your aura bubble looks pretty good for the most part, in terms of like the fortification of it and things like that, and the protection and stuff. I would recommend that you put some protection roses around the outside of your auric bubble, and you can just imagine them as sort of like much bigger than an actual rose, and they just will collect up. You could put one in the front and the back, and then one to the left and to the right, and they'll sort of collect up any energies that would be coming into your space from like intrusive energies, or anyone that would try to like hijack your emotions or those kinds of things. So you could practice that by setting that intention, see, feel, and imagine it there, and then they'll show up. As I'm talking, I can see that you have them now there, so, and they'll just sort of be gathering up, any foreign or toxic energy that they would otherwise sort of go into your auric space, if that makes sense. Yeah. I'm also seeing like a train flute, which I haven't seen one of those in a long time, but you used to be able to blow into them and they make a sound like a train. So just sort of bear that in mind too. All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap up that experience. We are going to be wrapping up this live pretty soon. Kathy is our next one, and I think she'll be the last one, unless somebody else, unless I saw someone else that or I didn't see someone else or whatever. Yeah, it's my pleasure, Diane. Meow. Thank you so much for that experience, and yeah, you got this. You got this. Yeah, just give some love, to that part of your body. Yeah, some attention. When I was jogging today, it reminds me of something. When I was jogging today, I've hugged the trees a couple of times that I haven't been jogging in like a month, or excuse me, a week. And so I set out jogging early this morning, and I always hug some trees on the way back, and I could hear them as I saw them up in the distance. I could hear them saying, I wonder if we're gonna get a hug today." There's like rows and rows of them on the side of the pathway where I jog, and so I hugged like 5 or 6 of them and said, "I love you," just a real quick hug, kind of thing. And it's also very grounding, for us. And they are the sacred record keepers, so yeah.